So, welcome everyone who is joining me in this spiritual mind healing service this evening. My name is Vance Gardner, and I'm your host, technical support, and everything this evening. So, there may be some itches when as I move across to do some of the technical things for the service this evening. So, welcome to those joining me on YouTube this evening. So as you join, I'm just gonna ask us just to center ourselves this evening. So just join me in this centering exercise as we're gonna inhale to the count of 4, and we're gonna exhale to the count of 6. And we're gonna do that a few times until we are centered. So inhale for the count of 4, exhale to the count of 6. Inhale to the count of 4. I'm going to exhale to the count of 6. Let us just continue doing that for a few more moments. As we center ourselves, just know with me now that there is one love, and that love seeking to experience and know more of itself, incarnated itself as everyone, as all creation. So I know that everyone who participates this evening is an expression of this divine love. And I know that this service this evening takes place in this consciousness of love. So I just allow myself to be a clear and open channel for the expression of spirit this evening. And I know that everyone who participates this evening takes from this service whatever is required for their increasing spiritual awareness of who they are. Perfect God, perfect expression. So I give thanks for this experience. And I just release these words now to that law that has already made it so. And so it is. So welcome again, everyone joining me on Zoom or online. And this evening, I'm going to do some sharing about accepting the unsettling truth. So Bob Marley tells us, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. That's what he said in Three Little Birds. Now, that's a comforting truth, but sometimes it's not so easy for some of us to accept that everything is going to be all right. This month's theme for our services is loving the unlikable, something the vast majority of people, if not everyone, have a challenge accepting is that many of our beliefs are wrong, especially if it involves unpleasant psychological, social, political, or economic consequences. In the 1992 Spike Lee film, Malcolm X, Denzel Washington, who played Malcolm X, said, "You have been had, you have been took, you have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok." We all have hidden beliefs from being mesmerized by living in societies where the status quo requires members to internalize false beliefs of separation, duality, and dependency. On Sunday, Reverend Michelle encouraged us, as our founder Ernest Holmes did, to remain open at the top, to promote intellectual and spiritual flexibility, curiosity, and receptivity to new ideas and higher wisdom. To me, we should be open at the top, but not from below, to accept false ideas and beliefs which are not supported by evidence or spiritual understanding. That is just my belief and my understanding. Now, this healing service, this is a healing service. So I will not dwell too deeply into the intellectual aspects of the unsettling truth. Rather, I will focus on practices that help us heal from feelings and symptoms arising from confronting truths that are difficult, disturbing, or inconvenient for human perception and comfort. Now, there is a Zen or Taoist story that illustrates some of these practices. When a farmer's only horse ran away, his neighbors offered sympathy, to which he replied, maybe. When the horse returned with several wild horses bringing good fortune, his reply again was, maybe. Later, his son broke his leg trying to ride a wild horse. Again, the farmer said, maybe. When the, when the army officials came to draft young men, they passed over his son due to the broken leg. The farmer responds to the congratulations from his fellow villagers was still maybe. So this teaches that labeling events as strictly good or bad is premature. and accepting the flow of life without attachment to specific outcomes leads to greater peace. The story demonstrates that freedom from non resistance, non judgment, and non attachment allows one to navigate life's challenges with equanimity. Now, non resistance is the eternal practice of acknowledging and allowing present circumstances, thoughts, or emotions to exist exactly as they are without the mental struggle, emotional opposition, or desire for them to be different. What you resist persists. So, a beneficial attitude is to reckon, is probably say to ourselves, is that so? Instead of not whatever, because non resistance is not resignation. It is surrender into the present moment to allow higher wisdom and divine guidance. Now, non judgment is to avoid labeling events as good or bad. It is what it is. We celebrate and are joyful if we like the outcome. If we don't like the outcome, we just let it go. Remember, everything comes to pass, right? Everything is transient. So non-judgment is really a form of mindfulness, to be aware of our thoughts, but not to be attached to them. And we call that non-attachment. No, non-attachment is not detachment. So, for example, coaches, teachers, doctors, ministers, and practitioners are non attached. That is, we do not get caught up emotionally in any discord and become a roommate. Instead, we compassionately offer support, or, like in the story, we recognize the flow of life. Because if we get caught up in the story, then we would be able to help or support anyone. It's just like if you go to a doctor and the doctor gets caught up in your whatever you may be experiencing, then the doctor won't be able to offer an effective response, effective diagnosis that will support you. So when you get caught up in this situation, life, and feel off-centered, seek support from those who you believe can be helpful in a constructive way, and also seek the appropriate support. Seek the support from people who are probably trained to support you in that way. If you need spiritual support, our ministers and practitioners are here offering to support, offering support to anyone feeling or facing challenges due to Melissa in this time from a consciousness of love and oneness is a beneficial practice that also helps to accept what is. But be mindful to stay in our lane at this time. For example, if you are not a trained grief counselor, recommend one. Don't try to be one. Right? So we can find the Christ in the crisis, but in Christ, there is no crisis. Right? So I love the response from both here in Jamaica and all over the world. The songs I have heard, and I will play one at the end for those of us on Zoom, have been very positive and uplifting. The outpouring of love, support, and the demonstration of resilience is a testament to the only truth, which may be unsettling or reassuring depending on our state of consciousness. And that is, God is all there is. Reassuring to know there's a great love that is here for us. Unsettling to accept that the way our life unfolds is a consciousness of our is a consequence, of our use of the creative process, the choices we make, and the outpicturing of the law of cause and effect as the way our life is. It is up to us. Sorry. We are present and aware of what is unfolding in our lives. Sorry, when we are present and aware of what is unfolding in our lives, we can overcome any challenge. Sorry. Or Ernest Holmes in our Declaration of Principles state that we believe in the healing of the sick and control of conditions through the power of universal mind. Now, Jill Bolte Taylor, in her book, My Stroke of Insight, provides evidence that supports this bold declaration. She's a neuroscientist who suffered a stroke in the left hemisphere of her brain. It's led to her brain shutting down. But by tapping into her right hemisphere consciously, she was able to find peace, oneness, and to allow the healing process to unfold. She became aware of what was happening by being able to tap into the right hemisphere and being in the present moment. She became established in right action, knowing what to do, how to do, and when to do. And she said that this ability is available to all of us. Now, Haruki Murakami states that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. When we are present in the moment, we can choose the most beneficial response. Now, journaling is a spiritual practice that allows us to become more aware of how the law of cause and effect is playing out in our lives and the divinity of all creation. We also come to appreciate that, as the Buddhists say, the obstacle is the path, and we grow by transcending challenges and going beyond our comfort zone. So be gentle with ourselves. Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. But for myself, the greatest gift is this, knowing that we always have a prayer, which means within us is divine guidance awaiting our recognition and acceptance. The great paradox, God is all. It's the unsettling truth. It is also the comforting truth. Namaste. Okay, so now we are open for comments, questions, and you can share how you respond when you are feeling unsettled due to whatever experience you may be having at some point in time. Or if you're feeling unsettled, no, you can also share that. So the floor is open. Nobody have any questions? Nobody have any comments? Yes, Don said, Don, you can't open your mic, you know. But Don said, let go and let God is the unsettling truth that we need to accept. Yep. But I must admit, it's not always easy. And some people can share some of the challenges in letting go, letting God, and to stay in that consciousness that God is all there is. That can be a challenge at times.
Vance?
Yes, Jennifer.
Well, for me, what I think is the unsettling truth is in all things give thanks.
Yes,
And at this time, that's really what I hold on to
yes,
as we're going through, because I think each of us knows someone who has been impacted if we haven't been impacted ourselves.
yes.
But just to keep that in mind at all time. In all things, give thanks.
Right.
And it's not easy to do because if I'm
No,
looking up at the heavens and it's raining every day, I don't know if I'd be thankful for getting wet, but have to remember that
I mean,
where there is
off,
life, there's hope.
yeah. And what I find in offering that support, speaking for myself, it helps me to be more centered, you know, and to be more aware of, as we put it, the goodness of God, you know, especially the resilience and the response. To me, that is has been very, very uplifting so far.
Yes, we
Okay,
see a
Don.
lot of that.
I, I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that one, Vance. Sometimes the opening the mic gives me a problem, so that's why I don't bother sometimes. But
Okay,
the giving thanks, I
Hold
have to do it every day.
on,
Every day. It is so important.
hold on.
um, okay. I think Leighton never intended for us to hear that. Yes, giving thanks. It
Every
centers
day.
us in the present
Yep.
moment.
Mhm.
Yeah, every day, every day. As I said in the ad, we want to live every day. So give thanks every day. Yeah, every day. Other comments? Other
Yeah, I
sharing?
agree. I
Yes,
agree
brother.
with the gratitude because it keeps you centered even when you're not seeing what it is that you want, but to know that whatever you need has
Mm-hmm,
already been provided.
mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
And if I can take the gratitude a step further, uh,
Mm-hmm,
I have found myself not just something happens and I say, oh, thank you, God. But I find that just in the moment, I am just, whispering gratitude just to draw a breath,
mm-hmm.
you know, to draw a breath, to have work, to just be able to sit and stand and see and move and all of those wonderful things.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, and even one of my clients is MBJ Airport. And I did work for them before I went away, long before the hurricane. And they're usually very prompt in payment. But, in all things, I can't I can't push them. So my
Mhm.
gratitude is I'm grateful that one, they are recovering, and two, I have them as a client, full stop.
Right. Yeah. Good. Accepting what is. Does anybody have any challenges in doing that at times? Just accepting it without labeling it, just recognizing it is what it is.
Yes, Vance, without that little thing in the belly button to remind you to breathe rather
Yeah.
than to shut off. Yes, it gets better with prayer and just remaining attentive, I say, to where your thinking going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't let your thoughts carry away to captivity.
Right, so that whatever you're looking at or feeling, you don't give it any power. See?
Right. 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 That's, it's a challenging practice when you know somebody, they're outpouring their heart, their pain, and so on, to not get caught up in it, right? To empathize, but don't get into, boy, sorrow that you know, get into that feeling of sympathy, sorry for that you're going through that, but to hold the eye watch in that situation, right? From a place of love, recognizing what the person is experiencing, but at the same time, if you, it's just like what I tell you in the airplane, put on your mask first before you try and help somebody, right? And if somebody is drowning, don't, if you can't swim, get somebody who can swim to help them, rather than you trying to play figure up and go and get yourself drowned also, you know? And sometimes we can get caught up in the emotion and don't center ourselves into the right action of knowing what to do in those situations. Anybody have any comments on that? Welcome, Reverend John. It's good to see you here this evening. Yeah, anybody have any comments on that? On being, but empathizing without sympathizing. Yes, Sandra.
No, just to say that the work is continuing, and that might sound very simple, but it's not a pray when something gone bad or a pray when you want to get something. It's about making every moment a prayer.
Mhm.
Yes, I do the ritual in the morning and before I go to bed at night. My bed at night ritual is always about asking a question. What do I need to do? Or even in the design of a workshop, I might say, how can I make this exciting and impactful and achieve the objectives? Something
Right.
straight as that. The next morning I wake up with an insight.
Right.
I'm driving, and the fact that I have 4 tires on the road, I'm grateful.
Right.
The fact that I can take my breath in the middle of a rush to get somewhere at a traffic light, I'm grateful. In every moment, I am expressing gratitude, and that helps to really deepen one's spiritual practice.
Right.
Vance, I like what you said about being with but not of the situation. I think it's very important And at a time like this, for us just to listen, not to offer solutions and tell them what you do when trouble catch you and thing, because it's impossible for you to. You can empathize, but it's impossible to imagine what it must be like to have your whole life disappear before your eyes. Your everything you own. I mean, everything that you held dear, everything gone in a flash. So sometimes we just have to be with them in silence and just offer our presence
Yeah.
Right.
and our silent love and our hearing, just be there. Yep. I was watching you on I heard the whole thing because I was on YouTube, but I can't talk on YouTube. So that's why I came to say hi.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for sharing, everyone. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks very much.
Very ironic, that about 5 minutes before you came on, Rev, I was thinking of you. And I was thinking, I was sort of reflecting on our time when we used to meet at Temple. And I was just thinking of how you were at every healing service, and so, yeah, that floated through my mind. And then 5 minutes later, you appeared.
One man.
One man.
One man.
Thank you all.
Any more comments? Carol, I haven't heard from you. I don't know if you have any comments you want to share. Hear from Carol. All right. If
I
there
have
are
a thought. I have a question. I'm not certain if it's a thought or a question. I'm wondering if unsettling truth is an oxymoron. It seems to me that there are unsettling facts. For me,
the truth can be unsettling.
Right. For me, the truth is eternal and, perfect and divine. So it's a fact that parts of our island have been demolished.
Yes.
But the truth is that God is there.
Right.
And that the truth is that the spirit of the Jamaican people will build, as we always have, as we have overcome the Middle Passage, as we have triumphed in all areas of human endeavor. That's the truth, and it's not unsettling. It's glorious, and a beautiful hope that we can hold out for those who have lost sight of that truth.
Right. That is the point, Reverend John. It is unsettling to those who are not grounded in that truth.
Yep. Thanks for that, Vance.
Yeah. It's just like knowing that God is all there is. It calls us to be responsible and to accept that our life is we have basically manifested the life that we are living. Sometimes that can be liberated, but some depend on state of consciousness. Some people might find that unsettling, right? Because being unable to see beyond like an experience or to grasp the fullness of an experience, one could find it unsettling in the moment. If you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Carol, you were going to say something. And then I saw you.
No, I was just going to apologize because I am in the middle of doing homework with my grandnephew.
I hope he's able to help you, Carol.
Between him and Peanut, I'm not sure.
All right, Sandy, I see your mic open again.
That's
No,
unsettling,
no,
trust me.
no, that
All
was
right,
from
Reverend,
before.
all right, Reverend Ann, you want to go? Susan close out.
I'm just listening to something and that thought ran across my mind when Reverend John was saying, yes, the facts are unsettling, yes, and the truth basically allows you some measure of stability. But
Mhm.
unsettling don't necessarily mean that, you're uncomfortably, There are things that have a nice way of feeling, all right, you meet a new person and the attraction is there and the bubbles in your stomach and the rest of it. It's unsettling. That's when you get a hold of the truth and you recognize that you're one with God and you're in that allness. You may not know at the forefront what is going to happen, but the trust and the faith that you have, it's an unsettling feeling, yes, because you're stepping into new territory of your own mind and how you're going to deal with life. But the truth is so exciting sometimes as you allow the infinite to do whatever is necessary for its highest expressions through you as you. And that feeling, of nervous anticipation and the rest of it, it's a little unsettling sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, can the call to grow out of your comfort zone into new and exciting possibilities. That is also unsettling. Well, maybe initially.
Can I
You say something, Carol? Yeah. We can find that unsettling. We can find that unsettling. And sometimes in some situations like that, we experience impartation, stage fright.
I think it's important to acknowledge the unsettling, and not try to gloss it over, um, and ignore.
Mhm.
What just happened with the hurricane is very unsettling, very. And we in Kingston have no idea. And I think if we're speaking to people who have been seriously affected by it, I don't think they would appreciate that you just gloss it over and oh, it's nothing. It's and even Ernest Holmes, they say that if somebody comes to you with a broken foot, you don't tell them, you know, God is great. You send them to the hospital to get it fixed. So I'm just saying, I think we need to be careful about not appearing cavalier in the face of severe pain.
That's not what I meant, Carol. Sorry.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm just speaking generally
Okay.
what I was hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand that. And Reverend John will tell you that in one of the classes that we had at the correctional center, a participant, he was able to, I will put it, Reverend John, he sort of
He
channeled divine
identified
love. That is
totally.
what Reverend John said. He channeled divine love, and he was able to empathize with the people in the situation, but from a very loving perspective, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, I don't disagree with that at all. Not at
Yeah.
all. In fact, some of the people that when I went down to Southfield in St. Elizabeth, um, you know, they lost roof and stuff, serious stuff. But
Mhm.
while acknowledging that, yes, the roof gone and thing, they were still very grateful. I mean, we went down to do some charity. I don't want to call it charity. We gave out some gift certificates that they could use at the hardware store. And I mean, it wasn't astronomical amounts, but you think we had given them $1 million. They were just grateful. But it was a grateful in spite of, um, while still acknowledging that them roof gone, them not have no food, yada yada. You know.
Yeah,
So
the
it's not.
spirit, the spirit of Jamaican
They're not
people
wallowing
is just amazing.
Yes. No, we are truly amazing.
But while saying that, Carol, I can still understand someone who position is, and when counted some of this in our classes, who position is, I can take on that right now. I have my issues to deal with, which are challenging to me, and I can't add that to it. What would you say to somebody who
They're
responds?
speaking their truth.
Yeah.
I don't think it's up to us to judge what they are speaking. If them
Exactly.
feeling like them feeling like them dead in, and it's to acknowledge what they're feeling. Because the
Yep,
most
Mhm.
times all people want is to be heard, to
yep,
be to be acknowledged.
yep. Well, it was one. I mean, you can imagine incarcerated people don't have news of their loved ones at the best of times.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how they were feeling, not knowing what happened to their families, if their families are alive, whatever, whatever. And
Yeah.
a couple of them said, "Look here, I'm in here. I have to deal with all that. This is involved in this. I don't watch the news. I don't want to hear anything about it because I can't manage it." And you have to acknowledge that that's one way of coping.
Yeah. I mean, even me no want hear no more of the news.
I want to know who drove you because I hope you never drive. I'm just saying.
I had company.
Very good. Very good.
Yes,
That's an
because
unsettling truth that you drove.
but just to speak it from myself, I prefer to hear the stories of resilience, to hear the stories of sharing,
Yep.
overcoming, rather than rather than those that they sort of bring on a different type of feeling, you know.
In terms of the news, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, yes. And on social media, of course. But when on social media, you can choose. Well, even in the news, you choose what you want to allow into your consciousness and what you can just
Yep. Yep.
let it be. You know. Okay, so we're gonna go into prayer. No. Um, prayer requests.
Divine guidance to everybody involved in recovery.
Okay. That's a Reverend John Divine Guidance. I saw one from Reverend Ann earlier, but I'm not seeing it. No, where is it?
An affirmative prayer for the Roden family in Falmouth. That was the request as they navigate this challenging time
Okay, the Roden family in
in Falmouth.
right. Divine guidance for everyone and divine guidance for the Roden family.
Vance, could you add to the first request of divine guidance, and the execution of the distribution with fairness and integrity?
Yeah, right action.
Mhm.
Okay. Just joining this affirmative prayer of right action and divine guidance. So in this consciousness, here and now, we recognize that God is, and we know that that light is within everyone. That light is in every Jamaican participating in this experience, which we call recovery. That light is within the Rona family. So in this consciousness, knowing that God is light, we know that wisdom, understanding, the clarity of this light, which we call divine guidance, is now guiding and directing everyone involved in this, the unfolding of this process that we call the recovery of Jude. We know that this guidance directs also the Roden family. And we know that everyone is taking part in this process in whatever way, distributing supplies, organizing the delivery, organizing plans for the rebuilding of communities, building communities better than even they were before. We know that God is the light which guides into right activity, right action in the unfoldment of these plans, these ideas, and these activities. So I know it is good. And I know that at Jamaica, that's even better than it was before. It's unfolding in perfect divine order. And for this, I am truly, truly thankful. And I just release these words now to that law that has already made it so, and so it is.
And so it is.
Somebody can tell me if we are in a request on
And so it
reach.
is.
Check. Okay, let's see Anthony so that she's present. And I don't see any prayer requests. Are there any other prayer requests? Okay, I just gotta do a furtive prayer of love. Let us know with me, that God is love. One love, one heart. That expresses throughout our creation. So we know that this love is the givingness of spirit. Spirit self-knowing itself through each and every one of us, through all creation. So in this love, we know that everyone is fully supported. In this love, we know that our island, Jamaica, is fully supported. And in this love, we know that all is well. So in this consciousness, we act kindness, gentleness, and gratitude to everyone. In this love, we show respect for each other, recognizing that we are all one in and of God. So in this consciousness, we support each other, recognizing that we are all in it together. And together, in this love, we build a Jamaica that's a beacon to the world. And for this, I am truly, truly, truly thankful. So we just allow love to be the way of our hearts and the heart of our way. As I release these words to that love that's already made it so. And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, a prayer of gratitude for the Temple of Light. I'll close with that. And that's from George. So in gratitude, our hearts are open wide. And we just recognize the Temple of Light as the manifestation of an idea in the mind of God, of an idea whose time is now. So knowing that God is all that is, we know that Temple of Light now plays its part in the manifestation of a Jamaica that lives for everyone. Plays its part as a place of support, a place of love, a place that welcomes everyone who comes within its atmosphere, a place where it is love in action. So I know that everyone who comes to the temple feels this, knows this, and is joyful, 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 and gives thanks for this temple of light, this temple of love. It is beautiful. It is so wonderful. And I just release these words to that law that makes it so. And so it is. Okay, I'm gonna just share some announcements. Okay. Let me have some challenges sharing what I see, what I can do. Okay. The first thing I want to share is that our prayers and love and comfort surround Practice Steve and his family as they experience the transition of their beloved brother, Keith. So surround
Put it on full screen, Vance.
When time I go full speed, let me try. Can you see it?
Perfectly.
Okay. All right. So we have Tai Chi for everyone. It's Stuart Maxwell, Fridays at 9 a.m. And the cost is $2,000, but it could be less if there are more people who participate. And you can join us on Sundays if you want to learn how to play the guitar, the piano. And you join us from 1:45 p.m. at the Temple of Light. I was talking about grief support earlier, and grief support is available on the 22nd, we'll have a special session in the annex from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And you can call 876-280-4984 for information. So we'll have in Lorraine Jones Lawrence and Michelle Hilton, and they will be dealing with international survivors of suicide loss. So if that is something that you are interested in, you can participate in that on the 22nd of this month. But you can also join us on Friday, the 21st at 6 p.m. for a Taizé service. So come and be a part and bring your friends to this sacred space of gratitude. So it's a service of song, silence, and contemplation. And it's a really wonderful experience. And light refreshments will be available. So that your donations of food, personal hygiene products, and water between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. will be collected at the temple Monday to Friday. I will deliver them to the RJR group for distribution. So we encourage you to be love in action, and we encourage Jamaica to stay strong. So if you want to support our ministry, financial payment options are available for both Jamaican and US dollar donations at donate.templeoflifecsl.org. And we thank you as together we support a world that works for everyone. And before you give, I'm going to just ask you to just say this blessing with us. And you can just place your hand over your hearts before you make the donation and say, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so it is. Now, if you can see my screen, I'm just going to ask you to just join me in the prayer of our center. You can open your mics and join me. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our
spiritual community,
from which
from
the
which the
Christ,
peace, love,
and joy
emanate
to touch,
to heal, to
to
bless,
bless,
to prosper,
and to
to
liberate
anyone.
To contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Amen.
Is.
And now, I'm just going to ask you really to just really open your necks and really join me in this one as we do a chamber of prayer for our island. So together,
And we're on the brink of history tonight, so let's pray for Jamaica.
Is now flowing through us,
and from us,
to
to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light,
light of God's love
completely filled us
And
covered
so
the glowing
glowing intensity of the light of God's
love
now interpenetrates
and
awakens
within
in the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women.
life,
Truth of life is set free.
the light of God,
God's love is growing and glowing in intensity
in the
in
hearts
the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace,
Right.
uprightness,
uprightness,
integrity, joy,
joy,
kindness,
prosperity,
and our
kindness,
oneness
and our
and our
oneness
oneness
under
under
God,
God.
and
and
so
now
are
it
now
established.
established.
And
And
So
so
it
it
is.
so it is.
Amen.
and so it is. And thank you everyone for sharing and for participating.
Mhm. God
So
bless.
I'll now do my closing prayer. But remember to stay behind if you want to hear the song that I'm going to play for us
Yes.
Okay.
Sunday.
Thank you, Vance.
So just know with me that it's all God. God has everyone who participated in this service. God has all that is. So as we go to our scene in the separate activities, we go in this consciousness of oneness, in a consciousness of love, in a conscious awareness that every little thing is all right. One love, one heart. So we give thanks. We give thanks for this service and for all who have participated. And I know it is good and very, very good. So I just release these words now to that love that has already made it so. And so
So it is.
And so it beautifully is.
Okay.
And so it is.
So we're just gonna have to say goodbye to those who are joining us on YouTube.